Welcome to UC Today. My name's David Dungay. I'm here with Garth Landers from Theta Lake. We're at Enterprise Connect. How you doing, Garth?
Great event so far. How are you today, David?
I'm good. And but I'm excited for Theta Lake. You've got some exciting news launched recently. I really want to ask you about this new platform approach you're taking and what that means and why that's good for your customers. Tell us about that new launch.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Theta Lake is the market-leading digital communications governance and archiving application and platform in the marketplace today. We've been a market-leading application for a number of years today, and the announcement that we are available as a platform means that those open APIs mean that we're part of the infrastructure. We're moving from application to infrastructure, meaning that we fit seamlessly into any organization's IT stack, right? People are making investments today. They don't want to make a purchase, an acquisition into a technology that's going to create another silo. They don't want to have to do an extreme amount of due diligence that requires them to figure out, how does this fit into my environment? They want something that fits in regardless of how they've built their architecture, how they've arranged their communication stack, and how they're doing business today. And that's what Theta Lake as a platform does.
Fantastic. So, what are the key benefits? This is being made available in a programmatic kind of way. What are the key benefits of that?
Well, the key benefits for Theta Lake as a platform, again, those series of open APIs allow you to do an endless amount of things with the data. And it's all about the UCC data that we're talking about here today at Enterprise Connect. Whether it's audio, video, textual communications, whiteboards, it belongs to the customer. So first and foremost, it unlocks that data. So with Theta Lake as a platform, they can operationalize that data into their infrastructure. They can surface it into their security operations, their event management, their observability. They can ingest other applications. We have customers today using Theta Lake as a platform to ingest over 35 applications that aren't supported out of the box with Theta Lake today, but those customers have built and worked and developed those integrations to bring data into Theta Lake. And then lastly, it allows them to take data out, maximize, leverage that data for other purposes, such as AI model testing, which they can do inside the confines of Theta Lake. And with Theta Lake, you can use your storage, you can use our archive. The data belongs to the customer, so we're extremely flexible in that regard. Or they can take it out and test their models against the data that we've helped them protect and secure.
Yeah, I mean, the data is such an important point, and it's one I'm hearing here at the show actually as well.
Indeed.
What's that delivering to your customers in terms of their ability to differentiate though as well? I mean, are you seeing movement there?
For sure. Again, UCC is where people work today, right? I mean, it's been that way for half a decade, if not more now, right? We've all made the transition to the digital workplace. And so all of the important work that's being done across meetings, chat, mobile, whiteboards, project management tools, the Asanas, the Monday.coms, all of that contains very valuable data. But if you're locking it away for good reasons, for security and compliance, you might be achieving one goal, but limiting yourself again in terms of taking advantage and understanding what you have collectively.
Garth, tell me, we're talking about data. Why do people typically lock that data away? What is behind that?
Well, they haven't meant to, certainly. But when you look at the market that we're a part of in terms of digital communications, governance and archiving, or DCGA, it's evolved from a long line of sort of heritage, legacy email archiving vendors. And their model was typically to, capture that data, lock it away, charge organizations on a storage-centric base. So literally, the more they kept and retained, the more money the vendor made. And if they wanted to make it accessible, well, of course, it required a lot of, bespoke customization services. So then you'd have a services component. Yeah. Our thesis is entirely the opposite of that. We're merely facilitators in terms of providing the necessary security and compliance, and we're not there to provide any friction for the way you do business.
Yeah, I mean, and those IT managers will thank you for that lack of friction as well, which is great. I mean, let's talk specifically to those IT managers now. What is this sort of all integrated approach? What are the key benefits they're going to see from taking this approach to their security and compliance?
Yeah, well, we've talked about maximizing the data, but let's pivot to the core reason they're using Theta Lake, right? Which would really be around that security and compliance component. So with a single integrated platform like Theta Lake, you begin with solving the data problem, overcoming those compliance gaps that exist in your organization today, meaning you have tools, you have communications that you want to use, you want your employees to engage with, be productive, maximize their value, but you're concerned about compliance and security. Theta Lake makes that seamless, unobtrusive. We work with hundreds of integrations across all of the different modalities, across all of these great platforms and partners and investors that are here today, to make that something that they don't have to worry about. We then allow you and enable you to react to governance events as they happen. If you have to respond to audits, investigations, litigation, you can do that quickly, accurately, confidently, knowing you got the data you need. And then finally, we give you that power and ability using artificial intelligence, which is all of the talk here at Enterprise Connect, right? To be able to surface and detect risk so that you can react proactively to those threats in your organization.
That's a really important point. Time is money, especially if you're in a legal situation as well. So it's very tangible ROI. So I really like that. One other announcement we've got here, WorkVivo. Tell us about how your work with WorkVivo and what are you bringing to the table from that perspective?
Well, of course, WorkVivo is Zoom's popular employee engagement platform. And Zoom is a trusted partner, but also an investor in Theta Lake. And we've worked with them since the very beginning. WorkVivo is another good example of that partnership and evolution of working with Zoom. And again, it's a good example of employees want to use this platform that makes them more collaborative. They can ideate, they can share information, around almost a digital water cooler, if you will, right? And have that employee experience. But at the same time, there's a lot of things you've got to make sure that you're doing the right thing in terms of data stewardship and protecting that data and retaining it if necessary, if it's customer facing or if it's an actual business record. And we help them do that, again, seamlessly, unobtrusively, without friction, really behind the scenes and preserve that native experience.
Yeah, and for me, this is one step closer to that hybrid working utopia, right? And where security's really come to the top of that conversation, I feel. But Garth, before we leave, let's maybe give some closing thoughts for our viewers. For those IT people who are looking at this space, what are your key messages for them this week?
Yeah, so one of the things that I think people, when they think about security and compliance for UCC, it can seem overwhelming to them, particularly the track record of other vendors in this space historically. And we'd invite them to come to thetalake.com, take a look at our product tour, book a demo if you'd like, and you can see how you can use Theta Lake in a way that's completely modular, allows you to address the business challenges you have today without having to overinvest and reorient your whole architecture and stack to support Theta Lake. Again, we work seamlessly, platform, partner-centric, and very easy to use, fast time to value. So we'd invite you to come to thetalake.com and take a look at our product tour there.
Fantastic plug, I like it. Garth, thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of Enterprise Connect.
My pleasure. Good to see you.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on UC Today.